Welcome to my channel Alane Signal. The dropship thundered through the violet clouds of Kharos Prime, its hull groaning under the pressure of re-entry. Inside, 42 cadets sat strapped into rigid acceleration harnesses, each one silent, each one aware of what waited below. Only one of them didn't belong. Cadet Mira Elan kept her hands clenched in her lap, her knuckles pale. She had read the files. She had studied the training simulations. She knew what Kharos Prime was famous for. War beasts, genetically engineered apex predators, living weapons bred for battlefield supremacy. Each one capable of tearing through armored divisions. Each one bonded to only the strongest warriors in the coalition. And yet, she was here. A human. Relax, muttered the cadet seated beside her. A tall, blue-skinned Varelian named Torvik. His voice carried a hint of amusement. If the beast doesn't kill you, the instructors might. Mira forced a weak smile. Encouraging. Torvik leaned back. You shouldn't have come. Humans don't bond. Not with them. I didn't come to bond, Mira replied quietly. I came to prove I belong. The ship jolted violently. The pilot's voice crackled overhead. Brace for impact. The landing zone was carved into black stone, surrounded by towering cliffs that pulsed faintly with bioluminescent veins. Heat radiated from the ground, carrying a metallic scent that clung to the air. The cadets disembarked in formation. At the far end of the platform stood the instructors, battle-hardened veterans clad in reinforced armor. Behind them, massive containment gates loomed like the jaws of some ancient titan. Myra's breath caught as she saw the claw marks gouged into the metal. Welcome to Kharos Prime, barked Commander Drax. His voice was rough, scarred by years of war. You are here for one purpose, to bond with a war beast. Fail, and you will be removed. Permanently. A ripple of tension passed through the group. Drax's gaze swept over them, lingering, just for a moment, on Mira. Each of you will enter the arena alone, he continued. The beast will judge you. Not your rank. Not your species. You. Torvik leaned toward Mira again. This is where you run, he whispered. She didn't answer. The gates behind Drax began to open with a deep, grinding roar. A low, guttural sound echoed from within. Not a growl. Something deeper, something ancient. The first cadet stepped forward. A towering Drathari warrior clad in heavy armor. Confident, unshaken. The gates sealed behind him. Silence followed. Then, a roar. It shook the ground. It tore through the air like a living thing. Moments later, the gates opened. The Drathari stumbled out, armor shredded, eyes wide with terror. No bond, Drax said coldly. The process continued. One by one, cadets entered. One by one, they failed. Some emerged shaken, others injured. A few didn't come out at all. Myra's heart pounded harder with every passing minute. Finally, Cadet Mira Elan. The words struck like a hammer. All eyes turned to her. Torvik grabbed her arm. Don't do this. She gently pulled away. I have to. She stepped forward. The gates opened. Darkness waited beyond. The arena was vast. A circular expanse of scorched earth surrounded by towering walls. The air shimmered with heat. The ground was marked with deep, clawed trenches. Mira took a slow breath. Okay, she whispered. Okay. A sound echoed from the far side. Heavy, deliberate. Something moved in the shadows. Then it stepped into the light. Myra's breath caught. The war beast was enormous, easily twice the size of a ground tank. Its body was covered in layered, obsidian-like plating. Veins of glowing crimson pulsed beneath its armor. Its eyes burned like molten fire. Every instinct screamed at her to run. The beast lowered its head and began to approach. Step, step, step. Each movement sent vibrations through the ground. Mira stood frozen. Don't run, she whispered to herself. Don't run. The beast circled her slowly. Its massive head lowered closer. It inhaled deeply. Once. Twice. 3 times. It was smelling her. Judging her. Mira swallowed hard. Her hands trembled, but she forced them to remain at her sides. The beast's eyes narrowed. It moved closer. Close enough that she could feel its breath. Hot, metallic, overwhelming. Then it did something unexpected. It stopped. Its head tilted slightly. Confusion flickered in its glowing gaze. Mira blinked. Ah, hi. The beast sniffed her again. Longer this time. Deeper. As if searching for something. Or not finding it. A low rumble escaped its chest. But it wasn't aggression. It was uncertainty. Mira slowly raised her hand. Every muscle in her body screamed in protest. Easy, she murmured. The beast tensed. For a moment, time froze. Then, it leaned forward. Not attacking. Not retreating. Just waiting. Mira's hand touched its armored surface. Warm. Alive. The beast flinched. But didn't strike. Another rumble. Softer now. Mira exhaled slowly. You don't know what I am, do you? The beast stared at her. Then, slowly, it lowered itself. The massive creature folded its legs beneath its body. And lay down, right in front of her. Silence filled the arena. Outside, the instructors stared in disbelief. That's impossible, one muttered. Commander Drax said nothing. His eyes were locked on the human girl. Mira blinked in shock. You chose me. The beast let out a deep, resonant exhale. Its eyes softened, if such a thing was even possible. Mira hesitated, then gently rested her hand against its head. I guess, we're doing this together. The beast closed its eyes. The gates opened. Mira walked out. Beside her, the war beast. The entire platform fell silent. Cadets who had mocked her now stared in stunned disbelief. Torvik's jaw dropped. That's not possible. Commander Drax stepped forward slowly. Explain, he demanded. Mira hesitated. I don't know. It just didn't see me as a threat. Drax studied the beast. Then Mira. Or, he said quietly, it saw something none of us did. Training changed after that. Mira was no longer an outsider. She was an anomaly, a mystery. The beast, now designated Unit KX-7, remained constantly at her side. But something was different about it. Unlike the others, it didn't respond to commands. It didn't obey signals. It responded only to Mira. And even then, not like a weapon. More like a companion. During combat drills, KX-7 moved with precision, but never excessive force. It protected Mira, anticipated threats before they appeared. It was as if it wasn't just fighting. It was thinking. Weeks passed. Then came the final test. A live combat simulation. No restraints. No safeguards. Enemy drones flooded the battlefield. Fast, lethal, relentless. Cadets deployed with their beasts. The sky lit up with explosions. Mira crouched behind cover as drones swarmed overhead. KX-7, she said, we need to move. The beast growled softly. Then, without warning, it shoved her aside. A drone slammed into the ground where she had been. Okay, she muttered. Thanks for that. KX-7 charged forward. Not blindly, strategically. It weaved through the battlefield, dismantling drones with calculated precision. But then, something changed. A new signal appeared. Unknown. Uncontrolled. The drones shifted behavior. They stopped attacking randomly, and focused. On Mira. Why me? She shouted. Drax's voice crackled through the comms. You're the anomaly. They're testing response patterns. That's not comforting. The swarm converged. Too many. Too fast. KX-7 roared and placed itself between Mira and the incoming wave. Its body glowed brighter. Energy surged through its veins. It wasn't just defending anymore. It was evolving. The first wave hit. KX-7 tore through them. But more followed. Myra's heart raced. We can't hold this. KX-7 glanced back at her. And in that moment, she understood. It wasn't just protecting her. It was trusting her. Okay, she said, taking a breath. We do this together. She stepped forward, not behind the beast, beside it. Left flank. She shouted. KX-7 moved instantly. Above. It reacted before the drone could strike. They moved as one. Human and beast. Not master and weapon. Partners. The battlefield shifted. The swarm broke. And within minutes, it was over. Silence returned. Smoke drifted across the field. Commander Drax's voice came through again. Simulation complete. Mira collapsed to her knees, breathing hard. KX-7 lowered itself beside her. Not out of exhaustion, out of solidarity. Later, as the cadets gathered, Drax addressed them. For centuries, we believed strength alone determined the bond, he said. Dominance. Control. His gaze shifted to Mira. We were wrong. He paused. The war beast did not choose the strongest warrior. He looked at KX-7. It chose the one it could trust. Mira glanced at the beast, resting beside her. A small smile formed. Guess that makes us both unusual, she whispered. KX-7 let out a soft rumble. And for the first time, it almost sounded like agreement. From that day forward, everything changed. The program adapted. New theories emerged. And Mira Elan, the human who wasn't supposed to belong, became the reason the coalition redefined what strength truly meant. Not power, not fear, but connection. And somewhere deep within Kharos Prime, among creatures bred only for war, a new kind of bond had been born. Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more cinematic science fiction stories.